Try that again. Good morning. I'm Trudy Murata, a volunteer community ambassador with AARP Virginia. I want to welcome you to our 6 Pillars of Brain Health webinar this morning, and thank you for joining us. This program is scheduled for 60 minutes, although we could finish a tiny bit early. Experts tell us, regardless of our age, we can reduce the chance of age-related diseases and optimize our chance of maintaining cognitive health. Throughout the lifespan, our brain is constantly changing and can make new nerve cells. The best part is that we can do a lot to take charge of our brain health and improve our quality of life. So we applaud you for deciding to spend time with us this morning to learn about and share lifestyle behaviors that support brain health. In the reminder email for today's program, we included a link to download the slide presentation and a link to all the resources that we will share here this morning. I am thrilled to be joined this morning by Dr. Rebekah Dailey. Like me, Rebekah is also an AARP volunteer community ambassador, and we are so fortunate to have her on our team. Rebekah is a patient safety consultant for the Inova Health System, where she coaches and empowers teams to achieve zero harm and promote psychological safety. Rebekah attended the University of Kentucky for both her undergraduate Bachelor of Science degree in nursing and her Doctor of Nursing practice in population and organizational systems leadership. She is a fearless advocate. She has a passion for helping others see their potential, lessening healthcare disparities in her community, and promoting healthy living lifestyles for all. When she isn't riding her Peloton or at yoga class or in the gym, Rebekah loves to travel and learn about different cultures. Rebekah voluntarily conducts brain health webinars on behalf of AARP, and her role here today is to provide general guidance, not specific medical advice or recommendations. Hopefully, the information we cover and the resources we share will help you make informed decisions to take charge of your brain health. With that, please give a warm welcome to Rebekah.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Trudy, for the introduction. Welcome, everyone. Again, my name is Rebekah, and I'm a volunteer with AARP. I look forward to facilitating today's conversation about brain health. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All righty, we'll start with a disclaimer that this session is intended to be informational and educational and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You should always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified healthcare provider regarding your personal health and before beginning or changing any treatment, activity, program, or dietary plan. AARP is not responsible for any decisions or actions taken in reliance upon or as a result of the information provided during this event. I am a nurse, however, I am not a medical expert in neurosurgery or neurology, and I cannot provide specific advice or recommendations. The information we cover today is intended to help people make informed decisions on how to lead a lifestyle that supports brain health. So let's get started. We'll start with some good news. Until recently, the prevailing scientific wisdom held that the human brain was pretty much fixed early in life. Experts believe that at birth, all brains had all the cells that we were ever going to have. Again, not a neuroscientist, so I'm not going to go into the structure of the brain or how it operates. But what I share with you today is based on research. And the good news is that regardless of age, our brain is constantly changing and can make new nerve cells. The best part is that we can do a lot to take charge of our brain health and improve our quality of life. Experts say that only about 30% of physical aging can be traced to our genes. The rest is really up to us. So today's presentation is based on current brain research vetted for you by AARP's Global Council on Brain Health and our work for AARP's online Staying Sharp program. We've identified 6 pillars of a lifestyle that supports brain health, and they are: engage your brain or learn new things, stay socially engaged or be social, manage stress, address the mental and physical effects of stress, exercise or be physically active, sleep better to enjoy the restorative benefits, and number 6, eat right. Healthy food choices can contribute to and support your brain health. Okay. So there are significant trends today that make it particularly important to live a lifestyle that supports brain health. As people are living longer, the risk for cognitive decline increases. And so we want to be in a good health to enjoy these extra years and the experiences we find in them. Also, a lot of people are rethinking retirement. An important trend with that rethinking of retirement and redefining the whole notion of traditional retirement. Many people will decide to continue their careers or start new ones, either because they want to or because they must for economic reasons. Also, since we are living longer, the prospect of skyrocketing healthcare costs gives us additional incentive to live as healthy as we can for as long as we can. Finally, current brain research shows that a brain healthy lifestyle can optimize our chance of maintaining cognitive health. So we'll jump right into our first pillar, which is engage your brain. But you don't have to earn a degree or, start getting new certifications, things like that, to get the benefits of discovering and learning new things. Studies have shown that the positive effects of challenging the brain in new ways throughout your life. Our brain is stimulated and makes new connections when we learn new things or pursue new things. So we want to stay curious and give yourself a good mental workout by doing something that challenges your thinking, offers you enjoyment, and encourages you to grapple with new and complex ideas. So we want this presentation to be interactive, so we want to hear from you. What are some ways that you are learning new things and support your brain health? And you can drop those in the chat, and I've got some additional volunteers that are going to help me through that today.
While we're waiting for them to type, I will say that, one of the things that I'm doing is relearning Spanish. I've put back in my tapes to relearn languages that I haven't used for a while. Some of our other guests are doing crossword puzzles, reading more books, reading challenging books. We have one who is learning to speak French. Bonjour. Someone is learning jazz piano, a class on basic Italian. We've got a lot of language skills going on here. Mm-hmm. Sudoku, reading books on new topics, reading and trivia games, keeping up with current events in the news. Someone says the state schools let you take some language classes. That's interesting to know. A Facebook fan is learning a new musical instrument. We had someone either on one of your brain health or another brain health session that was learning the mandolin, which I found that interesting. I've always enjoyed the sound of a mandolin, and I may need to put that on my list. Someone is taking beginner cello lessons. Another guest has joined a course on safe food handling. So we've got some active folks out there.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing those great ideas. So I'll share just a few more other activities that we may not have mentioned, but you guys mentioned a lot of them already. Teaching or taking a class, learning a new language or dance, playing a musical instrument, doing complex arts and crafts, reading a challenging book or exploring a topic that is novel, playing a challenging card or board game. You can still have lots of fun with this too, or writing letters. Thank you again for sharing. All righty. So let's look at the second pillar of brain health, and that is to be social and stay socially engaged. Studies suggest that people who have good social networks live longer and are physically and mentally healthier than people who are socially isolated. Connecting with other people is stimulating and challenging and often adds meaning and purpose to our lives. In fact, experts say connectedness is a key predictor of health and independence in later years. So staying engaged with friends, family, and community. In 2020, a study called Loneliness and Social Isolation Linked to Serious Health Conditions, the National Academics of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine found that there are health risks associated with loneliness. A quite serious one is that social isolation was associated with about 50% increased risk of dementia. And we understand during this time with the pandemic, it's really hard for people to stay socially engaged. And so we want to be sure that we're reaching out to friends and family members via Zoom as we're doing today, Facebook Live, things like that to ensure that we are still engaging with others. So during this time, again, we want to hear from you. How are you staying socially engaged? Share your tips in the chat.
Well, while we're waiting on those tips to be shared, let me just point out that some had already in the earlier responses indicated contact with friends and family as a baseline from which to begin. But we have added here, we have joining book club discussions on the Zoom or at a local library, starting to play pickleball. How about that? Phone calls, Zoom calls. COVID makes it difficult, and you're right, it does. Hiking with small groups, attending concerts, Zoom and FaceTime every week with family and friends, calling sisters and family and friends, meeting friends outdoors, even during cold weather. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. How about that? Games by Zoom, trivia by Zoom, volunteering by Zoom. That's interesting. Attending programs at the local senior center, weekly Zoom meetings with friends of 25 years or more, walking with neighbors, a Facebook fan, learning line dancing, walking the dog and chatting with neighbors outdoors, New Yorker Magazine discussion group, doing a craft fair, senior center activities. Facebook fan is organizing coffee chats. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All righty.
Good
Thank you so much, Joyce. Yes, those are great ideas. Thank you for sharing. And yes, like you said, it's so hard with our current climate, but finding those ways that you feel comfortable and are safe to still engage is very important. So just to name a few that you may not have mentioned, organizing regular virtual game nights or book clubs. And you'll see as we continue to go through this presentation, many of these pillars start to overlap. So again, if you're playing those challenging games, as we discussed before, you can do those virtually as well when you're still being social and engaging with others. Attending virtual community events, consider adopting or pet sitting for family and friends. That's a great one. I actually have a small Yorkie that I took home to my mother during the pandemic, and I do miss her dearly, but I'm not sure I can adopt another one and train her during this time, just with my busy schedule. Also volunteering, somebody mentioned that in the chat. It's another great way to stay connected, and there are even opportunities available to do so remotely, as someone else mentioned. AARP can also help with this stay connected with free resources that we may be interested in exploring. So I wanted to be sure to share these here. To find volunteer resources, check out AARP's Create the Good, or that CTG site. You can even explore opportunities you can do from home by visiting aarp.org/virtual volunteering. The main homepage for CTG can be found at the aarp.org/CTG. Another way to stay connected is to check out the AARP Virtual Community Center, where you can explore a wide variety of online interactive events and classes and just overall fun. Visit AARP's Virtual Community Center at aarp.org/VCC. And finally, if you or someone you love is feeling isolated or anxious in these challenging times, hearing a friendly voice on the phone may help. You can request a call from AARP's Friendly Voices program by dialing AARP at 1-888-281-0145 for English, or 1-888-497-4108 for Spanish between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. local time. All righty. So our third pillar is managing stress. Managing stress includes regular exercise, which relieves the mental and physical effects of stress. Smiling and laughing releases hormones and brain chemicals to balance the effects of stress. Distracting yourself with music or reading can shift you away from repeatedly going over the same issues or problems. Seeking out green spaces. Spend time outdoors if possible to regularly appreciate and enjoy nature. I know someone mentioned they still do that in the cold, so certainly kudos to you because it's 24 degrees and I am in the house. But let's hear some more ideas from you. What do you do to manage your stress?
One of the things I do is turn on the music and dance like no one's watching, and I live alone, so no one is watching. We have one guest who tries several that try meditation. A great suggestion is to turn off the news. Not a bad idea these days. Tai Chi from another guest. Meditation and creating crafts. Lots of meditation, mindfulness online. We have one that does indoor gardening, crocheting, knitting, watching funny movies. Chanting is part of their religious practice. Getting out in nature with my camera, that's a great suggestion. Cat videos, yoga, and puzzles. Back to you, Rebekah.
Thank you so much. And those cat videos are hilarious. Definitely a way for you to pull away sometimes. So I share that with you. So again, just to give a few more, confiding in friends. Also, being silent and still quiets the mind. It is a skill that can be learned through meditation, as you all mentioned, as simple as sitting quietly and counting your breaths. Tai Chi is an ancient slow-moving exercise and yoga technique. You can also take stretch breaks and limit screen time. Give your mind regular moments of rest. That's certainly important for us and members that are working on computers all day still and things of that nature. If you're continually working through something, set timers and say, every hour I'm going to stretch, I'm going to deep breathe and things like that. And again, that's our last one, taking deep breaths. Deep breathing when practiced regularly can be calming, and the extra dose of oxygen is good for the brain. So again, set those little reminders that say, I'm going to take deep breaths every hour just to kind of relax. So our fourth pillar is ongoing exercise. Again, you do not have to be a marathon runner or, take some of these to the extreme. You just need to move a little more. So experts recommend you get at least 150 minutes of exercise each week. So move about 30 minutes on most days. Walking is a great start, but it doesn't have to be an all endurance exercise. You can build strength training, flexibility, and balance into your program as well. Beyond the physical, exercise has many benefits. It's good for your brain, heart, and helps reduce stress. Research suggests that being physically active helps repair and protect chemicals in the brain, increase circulation, reduce anxiety, improve sleep, and reduce the risk of diabetes, heart disease, depression, and stroke. So find activities you enjoy. It's also important to remember to talk to a healthcare provider before you start a new exercise program. So let's hear from you. What are some ways you're getting moving and exercising?
Well, I'll start us off. One of my favorite things is water aerobics. I love water aerobics. I love the water. And so as much of the year as I can, I try to do that. Those of us of a certain age have to look for low impact sorts of things, but some people are parking their car away from wherever they're aiming to go and walking. Others are running. AARP video exercises, good for AARP videos, walking dogs for people, gardening, and even house cleaning. Every little bit of exercise is good. Home bicycle, walk from the furthest spot to shop, walking on a treadmill, shoveling snow. Oh my goodness, yes, that is absolutely exercise. YouTube videos, walking is a big part of what we do. A rowing machine, a Bowflex, Facebook fan is rowing, daily walking, the gym, if masks are worn, taking the bus to the senior center and doing exercise classes, taking the stairs rather than the elevator. That's commitment. Feeding birds outside. No longer going to the gym, but 6 days a week do a body flow by Les Mills with a subscription. Yoga, always a good one. Well, Rebekah, we've got some great ones here. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, certainly glad to hear that we're already getting moving. You guys kind of knew all the answers already, but again, just to reiterate, walking, we want to make sure we're taking regular walks. Again, you do not have to go on an 1.5-hour walk. Just start moving. Push yourself a little bit more each day. You can build endurance with a moderate intensity aerobic exercise like dancing, running, or biking. As you heard Trudy say, I'm frequently on my Peloton and things of that nature. And that's just, right in my home. So there are things that you can find that you can do at home. Doing different exercises, as somebody mentioned, Les Mills, there are videos on YouTube, there are videos on AARP, things that work for you. You can get into some strength training 2 or more days a week to tone and strengthen your muscles. Again, as you can see in the picture here, we have a young lady who looks to be like she's in her kitchen, but she's got some weights. So if you even just have a few canned goods in your kitchen, grab those as you're walking around the kitchen. You can use those as some light weights. 1 to 3 pounds works great. You do not need 20 pounds or more. Also, you want to work on your balance. As you stated, a lot of people take Tai Chi and yoga. That really helps with our flexibility and strength. So we're going to move into our 5th pillar, which is restorative sleep. Sleep restores the brain. It is vital to support your brain health, including cognitive function. It is essential to overall mental and physical health. Some things you can do for a good night's sleep include avoiding caffeine beginning after lunch. And if you've not yet stopped smoking, avoid any smoking and nicotine substances 4 to 6 hours before bed. But what do you do to help you sleep better? Let's share some tips in the chat.
Rebekah, one of our guests just said the same thing. I discovered quite by accident when my power was out for 12 hours overnight that I sleep better when the room is colder, although it wasn't by choice that I discovered that. Turning down the temperature, night prayers. I think that would fall in line with some light meditation before going to sleep. Wearing a sleep mask. Put on White Rain app, avoiding exciting movies, calming app with sleep stories. One of our Facebook viewers is using lavender and essential oils to assist with sleep. Turning off all electronics a half hour before, no stressful conversations before bed, deep breathing, inhaling, and exhaling. Record late night movies on the DVR to watch during the day and listening to podcasts.
Those are all great. Thank you, Trudy. So let's take a little bit of a deeper look into sleep as we learn a little bit more. We want to start by getting enough sleep. Adults typically need 7 to 8 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period. So we want to practice good sleep techniques. People at any age can change their behavior in ways that may improve their sleep. Recommendations include maintaining a regular sleep-wake schedule. That means you're getting up at the same time every morning, 7 days a week, which can be hard for us, I know, on the weekend, certainly hard for me. Listen to your body. Go to bed earlier and adopt an earlier sleep schedule. Expose yourself to light during the daytime and reduce exposure to light prior to sleep. Again, as somebody mentioned, that's avoiding TV and other electronics late at night. There are changes to sleep as people age as well. A person who is 50 should not expect to sleep like they did at age 25. You may have to put more effort to get the restorative benefits of sleep. Sleep is more easily interrupted as you age. Deep sleep decreases between the ages of 30 and 60. The body's internal clock shifts too. Older people tend to get sleepier earlier in the evening, and staying up late becomes more difficult. They also start to awaken earlier in the morning. For example, you may get sleepy at 8 or 9 p.m., go to sleep, sleep your 7 to 8 hours, and wake up 4 to 5 a.m. These changes are a normal part of aging and don't mean that a person's sleep quality is worse or that the person necessarily has insomnia or another sleep disorder. It just means that the timing of your sleep has shifted. Don't worry too much about an occasional bad night of sleep, but consult with your healthcare provider if your life is being negatively impacted by a chronic lack of sleep. And again, we mentioned great tasks in the chat, but here are a few in case we missed any. So again, adjusting your caffeine intake. So beginning after lunch, you want to start to avoid caffeine. Keep pets that disturb your sleep out of the bedroom. That's something that I know can be hard for our furry friends that like to sleep with us, but they can make us not have that great restorative sleep throughout the night. Restricting fluids and food 3 hours before going to bed. Keeping your room cool. As Trudy says, she found out on accident, but I'm the same way. And there are certain things that you can do if you have one of those smart thermostats. I actually have mine lower at night because I do like the house to be a little cooler and I love to be under a big comforter, even in the summertime. Also, keep smartphones, TVs, and electronics out of the bedroom to reduce light exposure prior to sleep. And that's important as well. Setting up those routines to say, I'm gonna be off the phone, an hour before bed. Again, if you have certain smartphones, there are certain things that can assist with that. They have night mode that changes the screen lights. They have preparations for going to bed. Sometimes I'll forget if I'm up too late. My phone at 10:30 goes to sleep mode. It doesn't let any phone calls come through, and I'll be sitting there watching TV and I'm like, it's awfully quiet. And I'm like, oh, my phone has already started to prepare me for sleep. So again, it's not things that we want to put more burden on top of us to remember sometimes. Look for those things that can assist you. All righty, we're moving into our sixth pillar, which is eating right. What you eat also has a big impact on your brain. Although no specific diet has been proven to maintain or improve brain health, studies have found that certain eating plans help cognition. So examples of healthy eating plans include the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet, which is dietary approaches to stop hypertension diet, MIND diet. It's a hybrid of the two. MIND stands for Mediterranean Dash, Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Evidence supports for brain health, eating less meats and fewer sweets, consuming more fish, nuts, beans, grains, leafy green vegetables, healthy fats such as olive oil. In general, the field of diet and brain health is relatively new. Gaps still exist in our knowledge of the effects of nutrients on brain function. More research is needed. Now let's hear from you. What are some foods that you eat as a part of a brain healthy diet?
As we age, sometimes our appetites begin to wane, and so that makes it all the more important to eat healthy. So share with us. Let's see, I love my broccoli and vegetables. So I try to fill up with them before desserts. That's good. Fruits and vegetables, 2 extra vegetables a day. Fish, always olive oil when cooking. Nuts, avocados, veggies, and salmon. Veggies and fruits. Oatmeal with milk and adding berries while cooking. Almonds and other nuts. Love fish too. Lots of berries. Sounds like some healthy eaters here. Soups with lots of veggies. Veggies at each meal. Okay, Rebekah?
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it sounds like we're off to a great start. So in case we miss any, as we mentioned in the chat, however, eating more fish like salmon and sardines. Don't forget nuts like walnuts and almonds. Serve your plate with vegetables like kale, spinach, and broccoli. And like somebody said, you eat more of those to hopefully eat less sweet. So fill up on the good stuff so you're too full to get to dessert. Eating whole berries, and you can do fresh, frozen, or canned. All are okay. Use vinegar, lemon, herbs, and spices for flavor instead of too much salt or sugar in your meals, okay? So our talk today would not be complete without listing some of the risks or threats to brain health. So let's dive into those. So the first threat would be smoking. Smoking increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. As we move around the page, we're going to go to depression. Depression doubles the risk for cognitive decline. Depression is not a normal part of aging. Seek treatment if you have symptoms. Certain medications. Certain medications, including antihistamines, sleep aids, and some antidepressants, have been known to increase the risk of dementia. Tell your healthcare provider about the medications you are taking, including over-the-counter products, to rule out potential problems. And again, as a nurse, we want to ensure that we're telling our providers about everything that we take. There are those natural herbs, everything, because certain medications, again, when they interact together, it can have different effects. Diabetes. Diabetes damages blood vessels throughout your body, including your brain. It also increases risk of heart disease, memory problems, and Alzheimer's disease. Hearing and vision loss. These are linked to trouble with thinking and memory. Think of your eyes and ears as sensory extensions of your brain. See a healthcare provider if you're experiencing hearing loss or vision impairment. And lastly, heart disease. Heart disease increases risk of heart attack and stroke. It's normal for your memory to not be as good as you age, but you can do things to help improve your memory. So some tips for improving your memory. Establish a routine. Put everyday items in the same place so they're easier to find. Hang your keys in the same place, put your glasses in the same spot, etc. Pay attention. Pay attention to the information you want to remember. It really sounds like common sense, but concentration is key. Practice self-talk to maintain focus. Say to yourself, I'm going to check the dryer repeatedly while you walk towards the laundry room. Then you won't get distracted by the lint on the carpet and instead go to the closet to get the vacuum. You might later think you forgot about the clothes in the dryer, but you just lost focus. Use self-talk to help. Avoid multitasking. It is far better to focus on one thing at a time. Again, use that self-talk. Write down your list of things to do, check it off often, and stick to it. Take breaks. Tension and stress are associated with memory lapses. Managing stress can help improve memory. Use calendars, reminders, and alarms. The mind is for having ideas, not holding them. Clear the mind. Use calendars, reminders, and alarms to assist with that. What would a day filled with brain-healthy behaviors look like for you? So upon walking, perhaps you get up and move by taking a brisk walk or doing an at-home exercise. What about in the morning? What about at lunch? Share some of your ideas in the chat and let's share with the group.
I know for me, it's maintaining a regular schedule, setting that alarm and continuing to get up early in the morning. And on days when it's not below 32, I go for a walk every morning. And when it is too cold, I've got the treadmill and the exercise bike. Someone uses Alexa to remind themselves. They do home exercise videos. Get up, do exercise first thing in the morning. At home bike. I talk out loud. Okay, I do that too, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you. And yes, like I said, there are certain tips and things you can use. I certainly am guilty of walking towards the laundry room and getting distracted and then completely forgetting that. I do that on my phone. I'll be in the middle of something and I'll swipe out and I say, where was I going and what was I going to do? So certainly important. But again, you can just look at this and say, there's one thing that I'm going to do upon waking up in the morning at lunchtime. You don't have to do all of these changes at each one of these points. Just start with saying, okay, I'm going to start a routine late afternoon daily and see what that looks like. So is that, perhaps doing some meditation in the afternoon, or say, I'm going to start something in the evening hours. I'm going to read a book in the evening hours, or I'm going to do some stretches and go to bed early enough to get my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So in conclusion, aging studies consistently point to a few fundamental qualities of a brain healthy lifestyle. The overall message is to stay active mentally, physically, and socially with special attention to a healthy diet, good sleep, and stress reduction. Start with small steps and try to do something every day. So as I said, pick one thing at first. If it's taking a 10-minute walk, adding one serving of vegetables, or make an appointment for a health screening or physical exam. Write down what you will do and when, and also get support from family and friends or community groups. So thank you for joining us today. I encourage you to consider incorporating the 6 pillars into your daily life. I want to be sure to mention these resources to continue your learning on this topic. These links are also on your handout. AARP Brain Health, you can find the latest news on brain health. Staying Sharp, which is included with an AARP membership, is an online brain health program that focuses on the 6 pillars and includes brain health challenges, articles, activities, recipes, videos, fun games, and more. Plus, for an additional one-time fee, you can take a brain health assessment and receive personalized recommendations. For more information, go to stayingsharp.aarp.org. Also, the Global Council on Brain Health is a collaboration with AARP. The GCBH, again, the Global Council on Brain Health, inspires thought leaders to work together to translate critical scientific information on brain health into simple actions people can take every day. The GCBH is dedicated to improving people's understanding of the steps they can take to improve their brain health throughout their lives. Brain health is vital to well-being across the lifespan, so the GCBH's work aims to have a major impact. Also, there's a book. It's called Keep Sharp, Build a Better Brain at Any Age, and that's by neurosurgeon and CNN chief medical correspondent, Sanjay Gupta. Keep Sharp is an AARP-supported book based in part on the work of the Global Council on Brain Health, which offers science-driven guidance for brain health. Keep Sharp also offers guidance on brain diseases. It is available from aarp.org/Keep Sharp and wherever books are sold. There are also many other helpful resources listed on your handout, so I encourage you to check them out. If you've registered for this program through AARP using your email address, you've opted to receive email from AARP. AARP will send a research questionnaire in about 2 weeks, which will ask about your experiences since you attended this presentation. Please be on the lookout for an email from AARP containing a link to that survey. Again, this will be in about 2 weeks. The subject line will begin with today's date, which is January 22nd, and read January 22nd, AARP Brain Health Workshop, short research survey. Completing the research questionnaire is voluntary and confidential. AARP would greatly appreciate it if you fill it out. This will help us know the effectiveness of this program. Please know that we welcome your feedback on our session today and appreciate you taking a few moments to complete a participant survey as well. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. To review, we went over the 6 pillars of brain health. I'm not going to quiz you on what those 6 are right now. Again, you do not have to know everything. Write it down, help yourself out. They are engage your brain, be social, manage stress, ongoing exercise, restorative sleep, and eat right. We also went over brain health risks, went over tips for improving memory, and what you can do today. We've included our contact information on the slide here. Please reach out to us with any questions or comments. Thank you again for joining us. Back over to you, Trudy.
Very good. Thank you, Rebekah. You are getting lots of compliments on this presentation, and thanks. And I want to thank everyone who joined us today for joining us today. And on behalf of AARP, I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning and express our gratitude to Rebekah Dailey for sharing her valuable time and expertise with us. As I said earlier, you will get a link in your email for all of the resources that we shared here today. There will also be a link in the next day or two to a recording of this event that you can rewatch at your convenience or share with friends and family. Now, we'd like to get your feedback on our program. So in the chat box, you'll see a link to a survey. Please click on the link and take a few moments to share your feedback with us. We will also send this link to you in a following email. If you enjoyed today's program, please check out all of our upcoming events at aarp.org/virtualva. Until next time, we encourage you to stay active and lead a brain healthy lifestyle. Rebekah, thank you for your time and your expertise. To our participants, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day and stay warm.
Bye.